So you want to be a better outside centre in rugby. Now you've clicked on the right video today because I'm going to be going through some important tips and pieces of advice I've got written on this piece of paper that I can hopefully share with you guys watching this video that you can use and take away and apply in training to hopefully make you a better player when it comes to game time. Now I've made a series on YouTube where I share my most meaningful tips and pieces of advice for every single position on the rugby pitch, and today we're looking at outside centre. So let's get straight into it. The first piece of advice that I have for you guys who play outside centre and want to become better is looking to control the defensive line in the wider channels. Now, obviously, defence is a big part of rugby, and especially when it comes to the backs who can sometimes be exposed to the big forwards, it's really important that you guys are really, in sync and in line in terms of what you're trying to do, in terms of how fast you approach up together as a defensive line. And as the 13, I think it's very important to be vocal, be a leader in defence, have lots of chat and communication, letting your teammates know what's going on when the ball has been passed and distributed, and everything is fair game. So just making sure you're doing a lot of scanning, being visually aware of what the opposition are doing. If you think they're going to be setting up a certain play, let your teammates know, let your inside centre know, and let your winger know as well. And just be really loud and be really dominant in terms of your communication. The next thing I have is the way you run in attack. Obviously, I talked in my previous video when I talked about inside centres. Their job is to run straight and run hard and look to break the gain line. But for outside centres, I think it's a bit different. I think and would recommend to outside centres to really look to be running arcs when it comes to attack. Not looking to run straight, but looking to create an option where they run on the outside of a defensive player, looking to expose and exploit their weaker shoulder. Now this is great because if done right, you're going to be able to turn their hips and make them be in a very, very poor position to try and make a tackle on you. And if they are able to stop you in your tracks, hopefully it won't be with a lot of force or momentum, and you have enough time to either pass the ball or offload to a supporting player, normally or typically your winger. And another good thing about this is that you're going to be able to create overlaps by the way you're running, because you're going to be drawing in defenders, and hopefully that creates a nice 2-on-1 for you and your winger. Or it just leaves a nice open gap for your winger to run through and hopefully score a meaningful try for your team. And then the next tip that I have is feeding your winger. And this kind of relates nicely onto the last point I made about, looking to draw in defenders when you're making those passes. If you're able to really sell the fact that you're going to be running into contact and make a player commit to tackling you, and then look to quickly pass and distribute that ball to your winger, it's like how I just mentioned, it's going to create a nice overlap for your winger to exploit and hopefully score a meaningful try. But alongside that as well, it creates a lot of opportunity as well for you to really read and pick the defence and make them be in two minds, because the next time they come around looking to tackle, they may look to hold back and look to try and cover 2 points at one, trying to cover you and also cover the winger. But then if you do see that happen and you recognise that, you're going to be able to exploit that by trying to break the line and actually go and attack that try line for yourself. So either way, it's a really good way of creating attacking opportunity for your team. The next thing, which I think is very important for outside centres, is having great backfield awareness. Now, when I say this, it's being able to visually scan and understand what's happening. Let's say, for example, the opposition have the ball and they've decided to kick into some space. And let's say the fullback has gone and received the ball and they've now ended up in a ruck. You need to be able to fall back and cover the space that the fullback has just left, exploited for the team. So if you're able to get back and secure that area in case you lose possession, or just until the fullback gets back into their position, it's going to, provide a nice safety net for your team and allow you to create a nice attacking play going forward. If you are unable to secure the ball, then at least then your team is still covered because you're in the back position. You're now the safety net of your team and you are now the last line of defence, which is really good. And it's going to make sure that, a lot of times in defensive situations, you're covered and the opposition cannot score or get into an advantageous situation. And then the final tip that I have wrote down on my piece of paper for the outside centres is making sure that you are really, really fit and athletic. Now, I would say, in my personal opinion, that the number 13 has to be the fittest man on the field. Now, this may not be like, you know, a commonly thought kind of topic, but I feel like you got to have the right mix of pace and agility, but also strength and physical dominance, because you can be expected to make those hard carrying lines where, you know, you're trying to break the line by just running straight into contact, but then you've also got to be able to have that awareness of being able to get back quickly to cover, like I mentioned, the fullback, for example, or being able to run the supportive lines with your winger, or even you're expected to score and finish those tries yourself. So being fit, being agile, and having really good athletic attributes are what's going to make you a really good, meaningful, impactful outside centre. So yeah, make sure you're topping up on your fitness outside training. Do a lot of, you know, broken broncos, shuttle runs, long distance running as well, and also sprint training. A combination of that is what's going to make you really effective on the pitch for all different types of scenarios. So yeah, really emphasize your fitness and also work in the gym as well. But that is going to round off my tips for the outside centres in today's video. If you found this video useful, please leave a thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe to the channel as well to be notified when I next post a video, you can also benefit from that. And with that being said, I just want to thank you once again for watching this video and taking the time out of your day to do so. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you.